It's late June 2020 and Brent and I are here in the Lost Creek Wilderness of Pike National Forest, Colorado for what is planned to be a 4-day, close to 40-mile backpacking trip doing what is commonly known as the Big Loop. I'm super stoked. This is my first backpacking trip in Colorado ever. Excited to get out and do it to it. We should have a lot of great sights over the next couple days, and today we're gonna try to get a strong first day to start us off for the rest of the trip by going up Goose Creek and following that for a while and seeing where we end up for the night. It's time to hit the trail. Following Goose Creek along the Goose Creek Trail. Beautiful morning for us. And we've made it down to the historic buildings left over from the attempt to dam this area over 100 years ago. Unfortunately for us, it was unsuccessful. At the Shaft House area, a lot of awesome rock formations out here. We're enjoying it. We're huddled up in this historical building during what we hope is just a brief rainstorm. How's the trip going so far for us?
It's going well. Making better time, making good time.
Making good time.
I think getting ready for a good climb be able to call it a day. So yeah, I mean it's sprinkled, but it's been nice. So it's just
not too bad.
Just June showers. But it's been a good trip.
Heading up and away on our biggest climb of the day. And we got a storm brewing behind us. Hopefully we can make it to camp before it hits.
Hopefully I make it to camp at all.
A spectacular view here. Just a little ways off the Goose Creek Trail. We're going right along beside the storm. It's hitting that other ridge, but hasn't made it to us yet. We've got a couple miles left to finish up the day. Awesome. Another one of the many unique rock structures through this area. I wonder how someone put that boulder up there. Home sweet home. We've made it to camp for the night. We've got a sweet spot here. Couple open tent platforms and a little bit of water down there, so we should have everything we need for a good evening. Colorado's Lost Creek Wilderness, established in 1980, stretches nearly 120,000 acres and contains 105 miles of trail. The wilderness would not exist today if the attempts to dam Lost Creek, which started in 1893 and lasted for over 20 years, were not a failure. On this trip, we're using the Lost Creek Wilderness Map by Outdoor Trail Maps. Let's take a look at the map for day 1. We started today at the Goose Creek Trailhead, followed the trail, hit up on the Goose Creek split. We followed Goose Creek Trail up to the historical houses intersection. Followed that spur down to the Shaft House. Worked our way back up. Continued on the Goose Creek Trail. Up. Hit the top, and then we started to drop back down. And we've got camp set up somewhere in this area right beside this ant here. Day 1 was about 10 miles.
Oh, hey there. Glad to see you made it. Welcome to Layne and Devan's outro. Take it away, Layne. How do you feel?
We had a great first day. Couldn't have asked for much better weather. We just got through our 4th rain shower, but all of them were pretty light, and it kept the temperature nice and cool. The clouds blocked out the sun, so we had a great day of hiking. The most challenging portion for us was definitely coming up the incline there near the end of the day. We were pretty tired, but we made it over the hump and got camp set up and are enjoying a relaxing evening. Probably my favorite part of what we saw out there today was just all the different rock formations, the spires and pinnacles and boulders. You know, you look out over a vast view and it's not just mountains, but it's all these crazy rock shapes as well. So that was pretty cool to see, and honestly I think we'll have quite a bit more of that over the rest of the trip, so I'm definitely excited for that. That'll be the end of day 1. Good night. Morning.
Morning.
We made it to day 2. We're looking forward to today. We have a mild climb to start out this morning and another mild climb to finish up the day, but hopefully in between those 2 areas it'll be pretty easy sailing for us. We're gonna go finish off the Goose Creek Trail, hop on the Wigwam Trail, and then I think we'll be on the Brookside McCurdy Trail for a little bit at the end of the day as well. You ready to rumble today?
I'm ready. I'm feeling good. Feeling ready to go. Like I said, the climb today is the same as yesterday morning. And then smooth sailing, so really the goal was just a little bit later start than we maybe planned for, but
Yeah.
we're looking to have an easy day because tomorrow's going to be a long morning, so try to cover as much ground on that last climb as possible to try to soften up tomorrow morning.
Yep. That's right. Let's do it to it.
Let's do it.
On the Wigwam Trail. There have been several of these open meadows flanked by mountains so far along the Wigwam Trail, and a bit of a different scenery than yesterday. We've come out to a series of ponds here along the Wigwam Trail, and so far Wigwam's been half in the trees, half out beside these little meadows, so it's been pretty cool. It is a gorgeous day for us as we continue to follow along the Wigwam Trail. This is the biggest meadow view that we've really had so far. It's pretty special. The wind's picking up a little bit, but we still got a nice overcast day that's keeping the sun off of us. The circle of life. We just had a nice stop for lunch and now we're back on the trail. Thunder's been rolling in for the last little bit, so we'll see what happens there. Grabbing some quick water to filter before continuing on our way along the Wigwam Trail. There's a different awesome view around every corner here in the Lost Creek Wilderness. We've popped out to the meadow here along Indian Creek on the Brookside McCurdy Trail, and we're gonna be looking for camp at the far end of the meadow. Home sweet home. We've made to camp for the night. We found a nice spot that a lot of people told us about here, just a little bit off the Brookside McCurdy Trail at the end of the meadow. And we're gonna set up, back up a ways to try to get away from some of the bugs. And the real star of the campsite is that view out down the meadow. Absolutely beautiful. Another great day. Lost Creek was so named because it disappears underground and reappears above ground 9 times through the bouldery terrain of Lost Park before flowing downstream into Goose Creek. Let's take a look at the map for day 2. We started today at our campsite along the Goose Creek Trail. We finished off Goose Creek, hopped on Wigwam Trail, followed that along. Beautiful, beautiful views throughout most of the trail. Continued along Lost Creek until we finished up the Wigwam Trail and linked up with Brookside McCurdy. We then continued on Brookside McCurdy, following Indian Creek until we reached the end of the meadow here, where we've got camp set up. Day 2 was about 12 miles. All right, we've made it to the end of day 2. Another great day today. We couldn't have asked for any better weather. It didn't rain at all, but it was overcast almost the whole day, so it kept the sun off of us. Temperature was perfect. We had a great day of hiking, mostly along the Wigwam Trail, and it kind of was maybe like 40% in the trees and like 60% kind of out on the meadow with just, you know, rock formations and mountains all over the side. So really, really pretty for us. And then when we got on this part of the Brookside McCurdy Trail, we got to another meadow with beautiful mountain views. So a bit of a spoiled day. Got to see a lot of cool stuff out there. How'd things go for us today, Brent?
I mean, it was great. So like you said, we really covered the 12 miles we planned to get through, hoped to get to, and which was big for today. We could have potentially kept going, but it's the terrain moving forward that we just decided to settle down here near water and
Yep, get settled in for a good night. The winds kind of popped up out of nowhere here pretty strong over the last little bit, but you know, it's keeping the bugs off us. So we got camp set up, we got dinner in us. We're gonna enjoy the rest of the evening, and that'll be the end of day 2. Good night. The Lost Creek Wilderness area contained the last wild bison herd in the United States. In 1897, poachers finished off the remaining wild Lost Park buffalo, killing a cow, a calf, and 2 bulls. The mounted specimens of these animals still stand today at the Royal George Regional Museum in Canyon City, Colorado. Good morning. We made it to day 3. Had a pretty good night last night. It gets pretty chilly, probably low 40s, upper 30s, but we stayed a little warmer than the night before, so that was good for us. We are about to start our biggest climb of the trip, heading up to the Bison Peak area. So we're ready to knock that out this morning. The whole trip's been super beautiful so far, but today should be our most spectacular day in terms of views and expansive sights and stuff like that. So we're definitely excited to see all that. You ready to get going and knock out this climb?
I'm ready. Like I said, we had another good night of sleep. It was drier last night, felt warmer. Not sure if it was, but really good night, great morning, and we're just really hoping for weather like we've had so far, and we're gonna be in good shape.
Yep. Let's do it too. It's time to hit the trail. Got some big boy mountains out in the distance as we continue our climb up. Not too bad out there. Let's take a 360-degree look up here. Beautiful weather for us today. sun's a little chilly, but it's not too bad. A lot of great rock formations out here and a little patch of snow on our way to Bison Peak. Closing in on the vicinity of Bison Peak. Awesome. That's the view north. We've made it up to Bison Peak. It's looking out east. And this is the highest I've ever climbed. I think it's like 12.3 or 12.4. There's south. I'm looking out to the west. It's pretty spectacular 360-degree views up here on Bison Peak. We came up Bison's Peak a bit of a roundabout way, but we're heading back down a little more of a straight shot. Bison Peak was great, and now it's time to continue on our journey. Looks like we made it down off the peak just in time. Some storm clouds rolling in. The rain has started on us, but it's pretty calm right now. Hopefully it won't get too much worse. Still a lot of beautiful views here along the Brookside McCurdy Trail. It's like every couple hundred feet, we've got a brand new, different view that's spectacular. The rain hasn't been coming down too hard, but it has started to hail on us. Hopefully this storm will pass by pretty quickly and we can move out from under it. We've come around another corner and there's a new set of dramatic peaks in the distance. Home sweet home. We've made to camp for the night. We've got a spot here a little ways off the Brookside McCurdy Trail, in between the McCurdy Park and Lake Park Trail intersections along Hay Creek. Let's take a look at the map for day 3. We started today at the end of the Indian Creek Meadow where we had our camp last night. We followed the Brookside McCurdy Trail until we cut up to Bison Peak, retraced our steps, continued on the Brookside McCurdy Trail for most of the day, and we hit the intersection with the McCurdy Park, continued on Brookside McCurdy, and we're set up right about here along Hay Creek. Day 3 was about 9 miles. Debris from a survey tower built in 1894 still remains on the top of Bison Peak. A 1954 government expedition to the tower made note of the well-marked trails in what would become the Lost Creek Wilderness area. We made it to the end of day 3. Another great day here in the Lost Creek Wilderness of Pike National Forest, Colorado. Really awesome hiking. A lot of great views, wide open views, the top of Bison Peak. We really had a great time just going up there, looking at everything, hanging out. The weather was a bit off and on today. It was nice and, pretty good temperature for most of the day, but then we did have some thunder roll in and a little bit of hail as well. But fortunately, the worst of the rain held off for us, and we were able to make a camp nice, safe, and dry. So, what do you think about day 3?
Yeah, like you mentioned, the weather was interesting, just in terms of it was so pleasant throughout most of the day, but it actually did hail on us in small, spurts there, and so it was interesting. But yeah, it was a really good day.
Really good day.
Of course, Bison's Peak, it was spectacular. The whole climb down was good. But yeah, we left a small climb for tomorrow.
That's right.
It was a good day for me, tired day, but it was really good.
Yep.
And
You're definitely getting worn down here as we're getting close to the end of the trip. Yeah, we got one
well,
climb tomorrow and then a big downhill, and we
that's
finished
it.
up.
You know, yeah,
Yep.
definitely. It's been a long trip, but tomorrow's the last day, so I'm sure we'll push it out. It's gonna be a good day.
That's right. So that'll be the end of day 3. Good night.
All right, welcome to day 4. Good camp last night. Good weather this morning. Little rain, just enough to cool it off, I guess. It was right on time. It was a great camp last night. So yeah, little climb left over from yesterday. We're gonna knock out this morning. Feeling fresh though, because we did pull it in a little early, so I think that's good. And then, like I said, so we should just be able to roll through the rest of it downhill. You know, Layne said I'd find my trail legs out here, and I think I have, but I forgot my trail knees. You know, so maybe I'll pack those next time.
Yeah, they're a little heavier though, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah, I don't know. I may not have room for them.
Yeah, so yeah, we got about 9 miles out today, and then we'll be finished up. Let's do it to it. Let's take a look at the map for day 4. We started this day at our campsite along the Brookside McCurdy Trail. We finished off our section of that trail, hopped on Lake Park for the next several miles. We followed the Lake Park Trail down until we connected with the Hankins Pass Trail. That then took us all the way almost to the end of the trip, where we connected with the intersection with Goose Creek and finished off the last point 2 to the trailhead. Day 4 was about 9 miles for a trip total of approximately 40 miles. Our climb on the Brookside McCurdy Trail has started through this beautiful pine forest. We got about 1.5 miles to climb. There's awesome rock formations up here at the top of the climb on the Lake Park Trail, and they open up to a gorgeous view. Beautiful day, tough little climb there, but should be downhill for us most of the rest of the way. This is near the top of Terriall Peak on the Lake Park Trail. The Lake Park area is surrounded by the beautiful red peaks that make up so much of the Lost Creek Wilderness. Didn't see a lake, but there's a bunch of willows back there, so there's probably some form of water. Clear blue sky so far today. We're making our way downhill. Popped out to a view here along the Lake Park Trail. A lot of aspens and a lot of switchbacks through this section of the Lake Park Trail. The Hankins Pass Trail has been mostly in the woods so far, but it's starting to open up through this section. Here's a 360-degree look at this open area that we've came out to along the Hankins Pass Trail. Beautiful blue sky, puffy white clouds, surrounded by mountains. 4 days, 40 miles later, we are back at the intersection of the Goose Creek Trail and the Hankins Pass Trail, 2/10 of a mile from the trailhead. Great, awesome trip for us here over the past couple days. The weather was very cooperative, spectacular hiking, a lot of great sights. 4 days, 40 miles, feeling good?
Feeling good, yeah. I mean, today was another great day as far as the weather. The sun's coming out now, but it's been super mild. Yeah, I mean, good last day. I think we're both still feeling pretty strong. Like you said, the altitude wasn't a big issue for me.
What do you think your favorite part of the trip?
I mean, Bison's Peak for several reasons. Number one, I didn't have to climb anymore once I was there, so it was pretty majestic. You know, once we got to the open meadows.
Yep.
Good time.
Yep, awesome views up there. Well, we'll finish off this last 2/10 and that'll be the end of it.